What's going on, everyone? Jack here from Half-Chrome, and this is the new EMAX Tinyhawk NanoScout Pro. It's like a fresh take or upgrade from this guy. This is the NanoScout. So I'm going to tell you what is new and upgraded and different on this one. I also want to talk about this guy here and how these drones, while they look very similar, there's actually a pretty big difference on this larger Tinyhawk in my left hand. So I'm going to be walking you through how to set this up, and then we'll get into flying it. Actually, first, I want to talk about what is different and unique about this little guy, especially when we compare it to the last NanoScout. Right off the bat, I can tell we have a new and improved camera. That's nice. You can get this in either analog or HDZero. This is the analog version. The motors are also a little bit smaller. So these are 0702 motors. These are 0802 motors. So these are smaller and lighter and a higher KV, which means basically they'll spin faster. The props are the same, frame is the same, but actually the flight controller is different. So this is an all-in-one board, whereas the old version actually had a dedicated VTX board. So everything is baked into one board on this flight controller. It also connects to your computer a little bit differently. EMAX ships this little dongle, and that is to save weight. Now it's actually about 3 grams lighter, checking in just under 20 grams. So that's nice, whereas this guy was just over 23. Like I said, I also want to compare it to this drone. While it looks similar, it's the same color, it's actually very different. So this is a 75mm frame. You can see that it's larger, and generally speaking, larger quads will get better flight performance and better battery life. But there's actually a more important difference between these two drones. This larger one here, the Tinyhawk Light, has brushed motors, whereas this guy here, the NanoScout Pro, has brushless motors. Brushless motors are far better. They outperform, they outlast brushless motors. So while this guy looks appealing and it's a little bit bigger, I would absolutely go with this NanoScout Pro. Brush motors are great for beginners because they just don't have that power, and you're not going to put this thing through the roof. But I would rather still go with a brushless motor quad. They're more reliable, and you can always tone the motors down if you want. Okay, so I'm going to get into how I would set this up, and then we're going to fly it. So step 1, locate this little dongle and connect it to your drone before you connect it to your computer. Then you're going to grab a USB-C cable and connect it to your computer. You're going to see some lights start to flash here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is connect it to my radio. So I need to wait about 30 seconds for this thing to start flashing. See that flashing blue light? That means this is emitting a Wi-Fi signal. So now I'm going to go on my computer. Now in the lower right hand corner, I'm going to go to the Wi-Fi and I'm going to click on ExpressLRS RX. I'm going to click on connect. The password, if you need it, is ExpressLRS, all lowercase. And I'm just going to open up another window here and go to 10.0.0.1. And what I need to do is enter in the binding phrase that I have on my radio. Now I've already done the process to put my binding phrase on my radio. It's Half-Chrome, no surprise. But now I'm going to put it on my drone so that they can talk to each other. I click save. I say okay. I'm going to disconnect and reconnect. Telemetry connected. That means that we're connected. So the next thing I got to do is go into Betaflight and make sure everything is set up properly. So I'm going to go to app.betaflight.com and I'm going to click on connect, and boom, I can see my drone in here, and you can see right off the bat if it's performing the way it should, right? You see that little arrow up in the front. That's the front of my drone. It is. And then we have some different tabs here. If you haven't been in Betaflight for a while, it has kind of moved around a little bit. We've got sensors, we've got ports, we've got configuration. You can see right here, TH NanoScout Pro. I'm going to see that in the goggles. If I want to see something else, I would change that. See if there's anything else. Nope, we're good there. Power and battery. You can see I'm really not going to mess with a lot of this stuff. Receiver. All right, so this, I can see right off the bat, I've got a problem. My drone is spinning uncontrollably. So the thing I need to do is change the channel map. I'm gonna go to FR Sky, click save, it should stop. It did stop, and now I can see, right, my throttle, my yaw, my pitch, and my roll. Right, the drone is behaving the way I thought. Now I have my aux1, aux2, aux3, and aux4. Those are all accurate, so we're good to go there. Now I'm gonna look into my modes tab and I can see arm is on 1, angle is on 2, horizon is also on 2. I don't fly in horizon mode, I'm just gonna delete that. You don't have to. Beeper is on 4. I like my beeper on 3. And I like my flip over crash on 4. You don't have to change that, that's a personal preference. Click save. Let's go to the OSD and see what we got. Yeah, perfect, there's not too much there. You can see TH NanoScout Pro, I can change that like I said before. I'm gonna go into my video transmitter and I can see I have 4 power levels, 25, 100, 200, 400, and CLI. I'm gonna turn on crash recovery, set crash recovery equals on. Make sure you type save. What that does, I'm going to show you this one because that one's still plugged in. If I'm flying in acro mode and I bump something, it'll just help me self-level. It just makes flying a little bit easier. All right, so before we go and fly, something I have to point out, this connector here is a little bit different. These are the EM 2.0 batteries, so they have a slightly larger connector. It just allows energy to flow a little bit freer. So these are really good batteries, but they're not really kind of the standard. And EMAX did include 2 connectors if you want to convert a couple of batteries. I've done that. It's actually not terribly difficult. You just need to be proficient with a soldering iron. Make sure you don't cut the wire, both of them at once, or that's a problem. Out of the box, it was set to R8, so that's the channel that I'm going to fly on. All right, so I like this smaller 65. Kind of got a mess going on here. I like the smaller 65 millimeter frame size when you're flying inside. This thing is actually pretty smooth. We're flying in angle mode right now. Excuse the mess. I should have done a better job cleaning up that project I got going on over there. I'm building an arcade, or I'm updating this arcade, you know, nerd stuff that I do. There I am. But yeah, this is fun. I'm gonna have to take this thing outside. Yeah, really stable. Oh, good power, right? I can just kind of feel. Yeah, it's solid. I like this guy. Yeah, I feel kind of locked in. I didn't change anything. We're just flying regular rates and stuff. Look at that. I like this. What a really nice, man, this thing's smooth. Ooh, as I crash. Let's get this thing outside and see how it flies outside. Okay, after flying this thing both inside and outside, I really like it. Now, I've pretty much only ran a handful of packs. That's not a full review. Super smooth. I like how it flies inside. I actually really like how it flies inside. Outside, sometimes one of the smaller drones don't do well. I mean, it was not a windy day, so it was fine. But I was impressed. My first 5 batteries, impressive. One issue that I noticed, and you'll notice it in the video, is I gotta land now pretty much right away. And at first I thought it's because some of these batteries are kind of old and tired, and that happens. But that actually even happened kind of on one of my newer batteries. It came in, it told me to land before I probably should have. I think it's actually a calibration issue. So I think when it was reading it at 4.0, it was at 4.2. When it was reading it at 3.4, it was actually 3.6. So just kind of with that in mind, that's kind of how I approached the flight. That said, I didn't push these batteries. I probably got about 2.5, 3 minutes per. They say you can get up to 4, maybe. So my first thought was I'll just plug them into my charger and check to see what the voltage is, but these are the EM 2.0 batteries, which aren't compatible with most of these like fancy chargers. You get this one, which is nice. I can charge up to 6 batteries at a time, but it won't output what the voltage is on the battery. So my best guess, my particular unit wasn't reading properly. That said, I just kind of recalibrated in my head after a few flights and good to go. The rates are a little slow. I'm gonna bump them up, but I was just flying stock rates, which I just kind of was curious what they were. They're not fast, so note that. But yeah, I was impressed. I really like this drone. I will be donating it to my local drone club. I donated these two. I got a bunch of high school kids that are gonna love to fly this thing, so that's what they'll get. It's a winner. If you're looking for one of these things, I have a link down below. It is an affiliate link. It helps support this channel, but that allows me to keep making videos to tell you guys a little bit more about these drones. Hey, thanks for watching.